Hi, I'm Debrillia Odessa Jones. I went by Dessa. Here's what I'd like you to remember about me. My father was Robert Jones from Mississippi and my mother was Mary Bennett from Louisiana. Dad was 47 years old when I was born and Mom 41. About a year before I was born, my family moved from wooded eastern Texas on the new railroad called the Wichita Valley Railway. They arrived in a newly settled town of Seymour, which bore all the earmarks of desolation. I was born on March 17, 1891 in Seymour, Texas, which is in Baylor County. Here is my birth certificate, which was issued later in life. My dad is listed as a rancher and my mom as a housewife. Seymour is located in the Red River Valley and the Brazos River runs through it. The town calls itself the Crossroads of North Texas because it is located at the junction of 5 highways. At this time there was violence between cowboys and settlers, but soon law and order was established. I had 7 siblings: Arthur, Ella, Benjamin, Nora, Marvin, Mary, and Robert. This is the 1900 census. Notice my name is listed as Debrillia D. Ella and Benjamin died from illness as children just 1 week apart in 1892. This was a very hard time for my family. I was only 3 months old. When I was 5 years old, Seymour started a traditional rodeo called the Old Settlers Reunion and Rodeo. It has been held each July since then. I loved attending. My town's local newspaper was the Baylor County Banner. There were more local stories back then in the newspaper, including family history events. My mom died in 1903 when I was 12 years old. My father married again the next year at 54 to Mary Matthews, who was 28, younger than my oldest brother Arthur. They later had a son named Clyde. Mary brought a daughter, Minnie Bartlett, from a previous marriage. I had auburn hair and brown eyes. I was skinny and the pretty daughter of R.C. Jones. I was a young lady of admirable personality and possessed traits to make a splendid wife to the man of my choice. Frank Medearis was dating my sister Ethel. Well, eventually I got pregnant from Frank and my religious father strongly encouraged us to get married. At 7 o'clock Sunday evening on October 16, 1910 we joined in the holy bonds of matrimony. I was 19 and he was 22 years old. It was a very quiet affair with only relatives and a few friends present. We weren't sure whether to begin our housekeeping either in Seymour or Amarillo. We stayed in Seymour. We had 3 children in our first 5 years of marriage. Our eldest son James Franklin was born in 1911. This photos is of him, isn't he cute? We had our daughter Frankie in 1913 and our other son Robert was born in 1915. For vacation, we would visit family in eastern Texas. Here is an article where I visited my sister Ethel in Gilmer in 1914. We also enjoyed stays at Lake Kemp, just north of Seymour. In 1917, my father Robert passed away. We were all there at the time of his death. He was a prominent and respected citizen of Seymour. Services were held at our Methodist church. That year, we moved away from my hometown of Seymour and settled in Madill, Oklahoma, where we stayed about 10 years. Frank had a car mechanic's job. In 1927, we moved to Sherman, Texas. Frank got a job working at the Cotton Gin. Here is our 1930 census. We stayed until our 3 children finished at Sherman High School. Frank's brother Paul ran a successful oil business in California called Medearis Oil Well Supply Company. He offered us a good job, so we decided to leave Texas and move to California. We moved in 1934 to Ventura. We packed up our belongings and made the long journey. When we arrived, we were struck by the beauty of the area. The ocean sparkled in the distance. We lived in California the rest of our lives. Ventura is known for its historic landmarks and beaches. The development of the oil fields in the 1920s, along with the building of better roads to LA, enabled a major real estate boom. The climate is moderate with a sea breeze off the Pacific Ocean. We enjoyed going to places like the Mission San Buenaventura. This beautiful mission had been founded in the late 1700s and had played an important role in California's history. Here is a family photo at Hermosa Beach. My daughter Frankie on the left, my mother-in-law Rosa Jane, Frank and myself. Here is another photo at Hermosa Beach. I'm wearing a nice headscarf. During World War II, I would volunteer at Ventura Junior College, where all the ladies were knitting socks and neck warmers for the troops. My son Buster got injured during minefield training in Fort Knox, Kentucky. I worked off and on at Albert Jewelers. They were on Main Street in Ventura. I became well versed in everything jewelry and the latest fashion trends. We have a beautiful selection of engagement rings, necklaces, and bracelets. I never did get my driver's license, so I relied either on walking, my friends, or having Frank drive me. I would babysit my grandson Tom most summers. This would give my daughter Frankie some time off and give me the joy of time with him. Here I am with Rosa, Frankie, and her 2 kids. I'm on the left. I would take him to the First Baptist Church of Ventura every week. My husband didn't go. The pastor preached sermons based on the Bible and would emphasize the importance of faith in God and the need to live according to Christian values. We had a quite modern home for its time in Ventura. My kitchen had a microwave oven, dishwasher, and freezer. There was a screened breezeway between the kitchen and garage. One of my favorite dishes was 3-bean salad. It was amazing. I also made Jell-O salad with nuts and a whipped cream topping. Here I am with our Cocker Spaniel named Petal about 1945. Petal brought joy and companionship to our family. I have fond memories of Petal's wagging tail. I was very nice and would never curse. I didn't drink alcohol, except sometimes would sip whiskey in a cup that looked like water. In 1949, my sister Nora got ill. I went back to Texas for 6 weeks to be with her until she died. Here is a card of thanks we published in the local newspaper to thank those for being kind and thoughtful in our hour of sorrow. I collected red carnival glass. Carnival glass is molded or pressed glass to which an iridescent surface shimmer has been applied. I liked the color red. I had 5 grandchildren, Tom, Jean, Jim, John, and Rosa. I hope they always remember the love and kindness that I had shown them. At 69, we celebrated our 50th golden wedding anniversary. I was still vivacious and radiant as ever. I gave this advice: keep busy and do worthwhile things if you want to stay young in heart. We were honored at a reception held at our home at 204 Eugenia Drive. We later moved to Lake Cachuma into a trailer park about 1963 where Frank would fish during retirement. We lived here about 3 years until Frank died. After his death, I moved back to Ventura where most of my friends lived. I was a widow for about 5 years. I died the day before my 80th birthday on March 16, 1971. My name on my tombstone is engraved Dessa Jones Medearis. I am buried at Ivy Lawn Memorial Park in Ventura next to my husband Frank. I am Dessa Jones Medearis. I had auburn hair and was tall and slender. I am Christian and stayed young at heart. I'm glad I could share my life story with you. Thank you for watching.